born. Leadership can be acquired. And this can be acquired by good interpersonal skills, by being a good listener and speaker and communicating well, by holding true values and respecting the group without favorism, by organizational consciousness and breaking the barriers to achieve goals, by the confidence that they adopt by and have a measured approach even when they are under pressure circumstances. You all know that leaders have to be creative, innovative, and they have to instigate a problem solving mindset. And all this leads to achieving results by motivating their team to accomplish the goals that they have set. Leaders also need to show and exhibit strong integrity and step up and move things with courage to achieve their goals. And this determination leads to good leaders. So, if we talk about women leadership, and especially in the fields which are not uh, labeled as women fields. So currently, we have about 30 female leaders in 28 different countries as heads of state and government. And the women led countries, which include Argentina, Costa Rica, Finland, India, Ireland, Switzerland, New Zealand, Germany, and so many more, they are led by women. If we talk about the national parliaments worldwide, about 17% of the members of the national parliaments are women. And in India and Pakistan, about 33% seats at the local government level are reserved for females. In USA alone, all the higher management and professional positions are held above 50.3% by women. So women leadership and women are performers, and they are showing their presence with every passing day. If you look at the figures from 2015, there were only 9% women managers, but they have marked their presence and have achieved higher positions with every passing year. And in 2018, the number of women managers worldwide rose to about 25%. And this is because they are more likely to achieve top performer status as compared to the male managers. Women can be in different roles. They can be entrepreneurs, they can be cooks or chefs, they can be doctors, they can be lawyers, they can be in the nursing field. And in every field that they are, they have an important role to play, because you know that in the era of COVID-19, it was all about following the standard operating procedures and raising awareness about this disease. And women was the prime focus to be the agents of change and raising awareness about this disease. If I talk to you about the representation of the women in the senior management positions globally, we always think that maybe USA and UK and European and Western countries will be leading in that trend. But you will be surprised to know that in Philippines, they have the highest number of women on top position, which is about 47%. And it has been observed that the women who employ more women and they are more successful. If we talk about the four major highest ranked businesses, then women owned businesses surpass all these IBM, McDonald's, and Walmart. So, women owned businesses, they are about 7.7 million people, which has increased over the past 15 years by 9%. The highest incidence of women employment is seen in sectors of health, education, and administrative and waste services. And you all know that health and education are the two most important sectors of any society. And if any nation has to progress, they need to invest in their health and educational services. And we are so proud that women contribute to these two major sectors of the society to their maximum. If we talk about history, women had lacked both formal authority and control over resources. So they were not part of any leadership or decision making. So they had to find other ways to accomplish their work. But women were expected to be cooperative, supported, understanding, gentle, and to provide service for people without asking for their rights. Now, the interactive leadership style seems to be a natural consequence. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, media has shed light on the relationship between women leaders and the helm of various countries and the effectiveness in handling the COVID-19 crisis. And the performance of the countries which have women leadership has been phenomenal, and it has been appreciated at all forums on the world and globally. The action of female leaders, particularly in New Zealand, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Iceland, and Norway, has been cited as supporting evidence that women are handling the crisis better than their male counterparts. And there was a research study which was conducted by the University of Liverpool and the University of Reading, which was titled that Leading the Fight Against the Pandemic. Does gender really matter? And the women-led countries have definitely performed better, especially in terms of number of cases, number of deaths, and early control of the pandemic. And we are all witness to that. The women leaders also behave differently than men during the crisis. If I show you on the right side, this is an analysis of 360-degree feedback data between March and June. And the scores were even higher during the first wave of the pandemic, which showed that there was a remarkable improvement in the leadership effectiveness in women population as compared to the men population. This has increased calls for more outstanding gender balance in leadership. And we have seen that women have remarkably expressed their leadership qualities during the crisis phase. But we should never forget that it's not about working women only. The women who look after the household are equally important. They have an extensive workload with immense responsibility in cooking, childbearing, and household maintenance. They have also key roles in agricultural development and have major contribution in the fields of food security, horticulture, nutrition, dairy, and the allied sectors. And in rural areas, agriculture and allied industrial sectors employ as much as 89.5% of the total female labor. So we should never underestimate the power of women who are working in these sectors. Coming on to the women leadership in Pakistan, Pakistani women, who are 51% of the population, are emerging as outstanding leaders. The Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan ensures the fundamental rights to all citizens, and it quotes that all citizens are equal, irrespective of their religion, caste, and gender in eyes of law. From Mother of the Nation, Fatma Jinnah, to the young budding girl Arfa Karim, Pakistan has witnessed many incredible women who made Pakistan proud across the globe. From politics to social work to literature, showbiz, education, sports, health, you name the sector, and Pakistan provides great opportunity to these women. Pakistan has recently done some reforms in the women sector as well. We all know that registering women voters to negotiating rights and Women Up Pakistan are redefining roles despite all these obstructions. Pakistani women have been diverse throughout. Their experience and behavior in the country are of critical importance in the corporate success. You name the field in which the Pakistani women have not made their marks. So is it in the form of filmmaking, Shamila Obaid Chunai, or mountaineering in Samina Beg, or in contesting for the WHO General position, Dr. Sania Nishtar, or a pilot fighter. Women are everywhere. But the emerging heroes during COVID-19, they gave a new definition of heroes in leadership. And I think COVID-19 was being used as a watershed line. It has brought new heroes, new talents, and to some extent, new normal. And the female health workers and female physicians emerged as the new heroes. Some of the best stories of Pakistani women. If I talk about Dr. Ruth Pfau, I'm sure you are all familiar with her. She was born in 1929. She was a doctor who devoted 50 years of her life to fighting leprosy in Pakistan. She started in a slum area of Karachi within a small quarter, and from that she expanded her services throughout Pakistan. She was awarded the Pakistani citizenship in 1988 due to her outstanding contribution, and she was given the highest civilian award of Pakistan. Lieutenant General Nigar Johar Khan. She served the Pakistan Army. She was promoted to the Lieutenant General rank and appointed as Surgeon General of Pakistan. We all know Malala Yousafzai as well. She is a humanitarian and the youngest ever Nobel Prize laureate. So we were talking about challenges due to COVID-19. So you all know that COVID-19 pandemic is like once in a century pandemic that has changed the face of whole earth. And the challenges due to COVID-19 were also faced by women. So, in addition to the persistent pre existing social and systemic barriers to women participation in leadership, new barriers they emerged during COVID-19. It has been reported by the UN annual report that across the world, women are facing increased domestic violence, unpaid care duties, unemployment, and poverty during this pandemic. Despite women making up a majority of frontline workers, there is a disproportionate and inadequate representation of women in national and global COVID-19 challenges. So, women leaders, they rose at this time, rising in solidarity to save lives and protect livelihood from COVID-19. So, women leadership, we all cheer for you. May the force be with you. And it has been put in the leaders today that women are more suited to the roles of leadership. And I will end my talk by saying what Socrates said, that no woman should ever grow old before knowing her true potential. You are all superwomen. You just have to identify your abilities and come up as a leader and lead the rest of the world. Happy Women's Day to all of you, and a big thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Somya, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. Madam, we have few questions from the audience. If you are comfortable to answer them.
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, there is a question from the audience. Physical health challenges are always discriminatory factor in society. And now during pandemic, the challenges are exaggerated. How these issues are highlighted by women leadership in Pakistan, especially at policy level.
Okay, so first, the important most is that physical challenging, being a woman or a woman is not a physical challenge in health. First of all, I need to identify that. I work in a hospital which is the biggest corona designated hospital of the province, Punjab, which is Mayo Hospital, Lahore. And we have majority of female doctors serving in the COVID wards. And all the nursing staff, about 80% of the nursing staff is also females. So you should never think, that you are physically unequal to men in performing your duties. Number one, this. Number two, I completely agree. People always talk about gender equality, but I always talk about justice. You see, you cannot compare squares with circles and circles with square. They cannot be put in place of each other, no matter how complete they are in their own set. So women are different from men. Women need longer paid maternity leaves. Women need a better setup of daycare centers or facilities to look after their child at workplace. And women need better employment opportunities and flexible hours. So if you provide all these to women, I don't think there is any disability. And all the policy makers, especially in Pakistan and at the government level, should incorporate these decisions. And they are very rightly being taken up at the higher policy matters as well to provide better opportunities for women in all the positions in different sectors, may it be education, health, business, or entrepreneurship.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Somya, for your special time.